So PonSnow does win the role, meaning that he gets to decide whether he wants to control the pick order or the ban order. PonSnow opts for the second ban, meaning that Rash gets to determine the pick order. In this situation, it might actually be more advantageous to pick second, actually, especially if you don't really know what your opponent's good at. You kind of get a feel, and Rash does opt for the second pick, meaning that PonSnow will be picking first and banning second, and Rash will be banning first and picking second. Banning first, picking second? I got that in the wrong order. So first up, we see a Fremont 2 ban. They do not want to play anti-mod. Understandable. And then next up, we have 2 bans from PonSnow. Probably going to be seeing a No Mod 6 ban. Probably some sort of small circle size ban. Yep, and there's the Hard Rock 2. It's gone. PonSnow, yes, PonSnow has one more ban after that. And we actually see a hidden 3 ban. So no tech alt Goofy hidden. A real shame too. We spent quite a while deciding what to put in that slot actually. And the final ban, we see a DT2 ban. So no speed, no small circles. Interesting. So that does conclude the bans though, and we are going into picks. PonSnow has the first pick. They did leave the No Mod 6 open, and we will not be getting a No Mod 6 right off the bat though. Instead, we get Anemone. Fun fact, this was also in the 6DT Grandfinals last year, meaning that I get to listen to the map I lost twice last year. Except this time, we pulled it as a DT map rather than as the alt pick. Yes, so to reiterate the pick and ban order, Rash banned first, he bans the Fremont 2, and then Pon had 2 bans in a row, banning the HR2 and the Hidden 3, and then Rash banned out the DT2. And Pon has first pick, which was the DT. And we will be going into DT3. Both players have shown that they're pretty adept on DT, and this is one of the most straightforward maps in this pool. It's finger control, can you go fast? It's 200 BPM, but it is originally an alt map, so there are several sections that can certainly be overwhelming, and we see that Rash is breaking pretty early in this map. Could just be early match nerves. The AC on both players, a little rough. PonSnow's definitely getting the better side of the AC here, but heading into this first Ki with the finger control sections, we see Rash breaking once more while Pon drops a bit of back, and there goes the combo. And leaving that first chorus into this section, it definitely seems like both players are struggling a little bit. Rash has brought his AC back up, but there's quite a bit of gap from his earlier break. However, there is still around half the map left, so this is anyone's game. And at the break, we can see that there's roughly a 60k gap between the two. Rash expressing a little bit of frustration so far. And PonSnow actually the first to break in this Ki, so this will give Rash an opportunity, but he does, I think, tap too early or release too early. Both players trading breaks once more. And with PonSnow breaking once more, Rash does have around a 100 combo advantage, and the score gap is shrinking, but I don't think there's enough map to pull it over. PonSnow would need to find repeated breaks in this section, and it doesn't seem like he wants to give it up. And that 60k gap fell to just 19k right in the last 30 seconds, but ultimately his earlier combo is prevailing. And both players actually doing fairly well. 300k on a pool of this caliber is nothing to scoff at. And that will be point to PonSnow. And we'll see how Rash will respond to that. Oh my. And Rash going for HR3. So he's going for Carnation. Arrow map, actually. This map is 160 BPM, so it has a few alti patterns, and this is with Hard Rock, meaning that the OD does go all the way up to 8.4 and the AR is AR10. It's not a super small CS, it's 5.2, which is not unforgiving like Precision CS 6.5, but it's definitely also not the nicest CS to play with, especially with alti patterns like on this map. So I'm expecting Rash to do fairly well. I'm not sure how PonSnow will do this. Both players have demonstrated that they're at least acquainted with Hard Rock. Thinking back to PonSnow's performance against his opponent Saratoga, I believe he either FC'd or got a really good score on that HR1. Speaking of PonSnow though, you can see the cursor shake. Probably just nerves coming into play here. Meanwhile, Rash still hanging on to an S rank. The real difficulty of this map hasn't really come up yet though, and Rash already with a really substantial lead, just off his act alone, and the earlier break from PonSnow. Yeah, Rash just looks so comfortable on this. And he slightly over-aims that slider and drops the combo. Not to fret though, there's quite a bit of this map left. Both players' accuracy is actually higher than I was expecting, especially with all the tapping required on this map. And at slightly over halfway through the map, Rash definitely with a really sizable lead, especially with PonSnow breaking right there. It gives him around a 200 combo lead. .160 BPM is so tricky to play, especially with Hard Rock, because like we saw right there, the BPM is slow enough that you have to keep your fingers slow, but not too slow to under tap. And as we see in this tapping section, both players dropping quite a bit of accuracy once more. It does look like Rash is going to run away with this one though. He definitely checked out his opponent's skills. And That is going to be over 400k on this Hard Rock 3. Impressive. It's not easy to do that on a Hard Rock stream map. So that ties it up. 1-1. Both players winning their first pick. Based off of that DT3 performance, if I had to guess, PonSnow will probably go for something also fairly conventional. As we saw in the warm-up, the second warm-up, he's pretty comfortable on conventional aim and angles. So we might see like a no mod 1, or maybe like a hidden one with the slightly awkward aim. I think that his best bet here would be to pick into the no mods and the DTs and let Rash pick into the mods, because Rash definitely seems to be more comfortable on those. With that being said, I do want to see a no mod 4. That map is so painful, but so good. And also it's a good song. Our no mod pool this time around is on the longer side, and we actually see a hidden 1 from PonSnow. We're going to be getting the awkward aim. Rash, not a fan of that decision. Interesting seeing PonSnow pick into hidden when he banned out another one of the hidden maps. Maybe he's just really comfortable on this mod. This map is also kind of goofy. There's a lot to do in this map, and it's 190 BPM, CS4, AR9, so fairly conventional map stats. The angles on this map are what make it difficult with hidden though, and it seems like neither player wants a break. We're just going in. I'm surprised at the hidden pick though, because Rash and PonSnow have both struggled on the hiddens throughout this tournament, and as we can see in this first slice of the map, both players have already broken. As we have seen time and time again in this tournament, players really struggle on hidden in particular. Hard Rock has been fine this time around. Both players also breaking on the big jumps. It just seems like most of them don't often play with hidden, and we see a bit of misread from Rash, I believe. As Rash said earlier, this map is a little gross, and I think all of these breaks could be just due to a lack of familiarity with the map, because if players aren't comfortable with hidden, this is not a map you want to be sight reading. And at the break, 52k to 43k, both players really struggling. PonSnow, I think, missing on the same pattern again. Might not be the same note. In Rash, once more trading it. The score gap is primarily AC-based right now, just because both players are really struggling to hold on to combo. PonSnow's actually not really snapping these jumps. If you look at his cursor, he's almost flowing them. And both players right there with a misread. It looked like both of them just kind of froze. PonSnow with them break once more, and that score gap from earlier has grown from around 10k to be about 40k, just because Rash is managing to hang on a bit longer to his combo. Hidden is definitely turning out to be the bane of both of these players' existences, though. Especially thinking forward, when one of these two has to face Kajoden tomorrow, he is an absolute monster on Hidden. Oh my. Player slightly misreading that slider. This was probably a mispick, but it is a good song, so banger pick. Both players definitely struggling on this map, but there is a lot of maps to play with in this match. It's a best of 13, meaning that a player needs to get 7 points to win. And that is going to be the first break point of the match. Rash taking Hidden 1 by around an 80k margin. That was definitely not a bloodless battle, though. Both players definitely not having a great time on that map. And no hesitation, we see Rash picking into DT1. So, Hip Song, this is one of the more standard maps of the pool. Compared to everything we've throwing at them, this map is definitely nothing to laugh at, but it has fewer gimmicks than the rest of the map. It is only 80 BPM, but that's because it has ulti patterns, meaning that with DT it's effectively 240 BPM. And once more, neither player wanting to take a break. We are going right in. DT1, Hip Song. This is only AR 9.3, which was one of my concerns while we were playtesting for this map, but I believe that both players, everyone on the staff just agreed that this was a banger. I fully expect very, very high scores on this map, probably above 300k from both players, maybe even 400, 500k. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw FCs on this map. Both players are very much capable of playing this one. It's interesting watching these players aim next to each other, because Rash is so snappy while Pon is very flowy. No breaks though, around a third of the way into the map. Rash is ahead by around a 20k margin off back right now. And Pon actually the first to break on one of those flow patterns. And right there, halfway through the map, Rash already with almost 600k score, also at 400k. In DT, it's just so easy to build score up. And Rash is gonna be looking to continue to build his score. Pon needs a break from him, and really, really soon, because this is soon approaching unwinnable territory. And with Rash crossing the 800k score, I believe that he does have this map, even though he broke right there. There just isn't enough map for PonSnow to take this back. And with that break, that is going to set it in stone. This will be the third point to Rash. And really great scores from both players. And now the pick goes back to PonSnow. He'll be deciding what he wants to play next. He picked Hidden last time, so that means that he can't pick Hidden this time, but I don't think that we will be seeing Hidden 2 from PonSnow. And we see Nomad 3, actually. yet another alt map coming out. This one is a little different though. It's really consistency based, and there's a lot of combo to play with. So early breaks might not matter as much, but it'll come down to who can hold that 800, 900 combo and just run away with this map. And players actually discussing what they're going to pick with each other. We have been promised a Nomad 6, so we may be getting a Nomad 6. Let's go. PonSnow, the first to break on the flow section. Not to worry though. This is a very long map. More concerning, however, is the ACK lead that Rash has managed to build. 10 points will get you really far in Scorby 2. And it seems like PonSnow is definitely struggling a bit more on this map. It is AR9, but on this map, AR9 just feels so slow because there's so many notes on the screen at once. And the spacing definitely doesn't help. Get a bit of a cursor dance from Rash. And heading into this Ki, he is sitting comfortably ahead. And both players actually accelerating too quickly on that pattern. Rash dropping for the first time this map, I believe. And Rash with the misread once more, but he did recover nicely, saving his combo. PonSnow definitely looking a little less comfortable on this alt pick than maybe he was hoping. I'm not too sure why Nomad 3 was picked by PonSnow. It is a good song, but I believe that Rash is favored in alt. He even won the more techie alty warm-up pick. The ACK difference has shrunk though, with only around 6 points of a difference between the two now. Unfortunately, I just think there isn't enough map left, and with that PonSnow break right there, that should seal it for this map. Those 1/3 patterns are so challenging to hit because they require both aim control and finger control. And that will be a 4th point to Rash, taking this Nomad 3 by quite a margin, actually. And both players with around the same number of miscount. It just happened to be that Rash happened to have a longer combo and a better ACK. And that's what got him that point. And yep, immediately, Nomad 6. We get Uncharted Sky. This is a map. Certainly and apparently PonSnow doesn't remember the map and Rash dislikes it, so we may be getting a treat here. Generally speaking though, from past iterations of 60T and this current version of 60T, most players don't have the best of time on No Mod 6s due to the finger control and rhythmic requirement, so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. With that being said, No Head is a big fan of this map, and that's generally not a good sign for conventional gameplay enjoyers. At AR 8.4, it's not only a reading and rhythmic challenge, it's also a density challenge. It's so tricky to read those stacks, and both players they're actually reading the quint as a quad. I will be very surprised if anyone gets above 200k on this map. Besides maybe Kajodin tomorrow if his opponent lets him have No Mod 6 open. And yeah, both players just not having a good time on this map at all. It is a really close match though, so far. Only 8k difference, with both players just breaking everywhere left and right. And PonSnow actually winning, mostly off of AC, I believe, because both players have just been breaking everywhere. Rash is beginning to build up a bit of a combo. Both players actually building up a bit of a combo. And with PonSnow breaking right there, and Rash hanging on, this could go over really quickly. And JK, it will not be going over yet. This is actually a very close map. 5k going into the last quarter of the map. It'll come down to who can hold their combo the longest. Forget 100 combo, if you can hold 70 combo, 50 combo, you will win this map. And it seems like PonSnow actually is going to just eke this one out. The score always staying on his side, but it looked really dicey at certain moments. Going into this last section though, his score is going to continue to grow. And that's No Mod 6. Another breakpoint. I believe our third breakpoint in a row. Both players here don't seem to be rhythm enjoyers, but that's understandable. This map leaves no room for comfort. The density, the circle size, the rhythm changes and meter changes, just... they're ruthless, they never stop. And we get a No Mod 1. So, back to the land of the living we go with our maps. We have probably the most conventional map of this pool, a No Mod 1. This one can definitely go either way. And it's ultimately going to come down to a test of consistency. It's 181 BPM and 4.5 minutes long, so anyone could win this. And once more, it'll be who can hold that, 1000 combo, 900 combo through the first half. And I wouldn't be surprised if both players, like the DT1, got over 500k on this map. However, unlike the DT1, there is quite a bit of length to this map. So, breaks will likely cut your score in half. However, we are deep enough into the match actually, where players should have calmed down a little bit. PonSnow breaking really early in this map. It doesn't matter too much though. There will be other breaks in this map. PonSnow slightly under-aiming that slider. This isn't really where I expected players to be breaking though. The spacing here is pretty light. It definitely opens up more in the chorus, where the intensity also cranks up. But once more, it could just be the early map nerves. However, Rash has been able to build pretty substantial lead just off of his nice combo. Really good score so far from him. 98% FC, almost 99% on Scorpio 2. And at the 1/3 mark, it's approximately a 100k difference, but if nothing changes, that gap is going to continue to grow. If PonSnow wants to take this point back, he needs Rash to break, and very, very soon. PonSnow, I think, slightly over-aiming and then correcting too far. Will break right before this break. This key eye right here will likely decide the outcome of this map. If Rash holds through it, he will be in a really great spot for this map. He will probably take the whole map if he can hold. But he does drop right there, giving PonSnow an opportunity, but PonSnow needs to hold through basically the end of the map. Just FC from here to the end, and with that break, he's not helping his score. There's a 200k difference right now, and that earlier break from RashCylinder will help him, but it seems like Rash probably doesn't want to drop again, and I don't think he will drop again. PonSnow definitely has his work cut out for him. Rash does find another break, but it is too little too late. The damage was done halfway through this map. And Rash will be getting an over 500k score on this map. Really impressive on a consistency map. PonSnow as well, looking to probably cross into around the upper 300ks. Really great scores from both players. Unfortunately, the early breaks and just the slight over-aims and under-aims from PonSnow costing him this point, and allowing his opponent to regain the momentum. Rash is in a really good position here, because he has quite a bit of the pool left to pick from, and he's up by quite a margin, so he can probably experiment a bit here and go for something less conventional. Maybe just try and skill cap his opponent. In this situation, maybe go for like some alt finger control, the DT4. The Nomad 3 went really well for him. And I don't think neither of them want to play hidden, and yep, we see the DT3, which was already picked. Oh, yep, DT4. And there it is. The Make Some Noise Seashell map. This is a map that I've been trying to get in the pool since the qualifiers round. And Amber has shot me down every single round. Not this time, Amber. The main challenge on this map will be the flow and the snaps. Because of its alti BPM, there's quite a bit of aim control involved. The tapping shouldn't be too much of an issue for either of these players because it's 110 or roughly 220 with DT. I'm going to be concerned about the aim. Like chat is saying though, this is one of the easier maps in this pool. So, as we saw earlier, this could be anyone's map. These players are tied on DT. 1 point each, and the DT2 was banned. So this could be seen as like a tiebreaker of sorts for the DT. Like the Nomad one and the DT one, I'm expecting high scores. This is the intro section of the map, so I'm not too surprised no breaks have happened yet. Going into this first ramp up though, this is where I'm gonna start expecting, and PonSnow I think tapping too late. And Rash trading it right back. The flow catching both of them off guard. Rash with the slight ACK advantage, but both players are rebuilding their ACK, and this is really close right now. And Rash actually the first to break in this next flow section. And Pon does trade it back though. If either player can hit one of those key eyes, they will likely win this map. Because they're spaced evenly throughout the map, so that if you hit one of them, you can gain in combo basically half of the map rather than just a quarter. And Pon actually now with the ACK advantage very slightly, but that is being counteracted by Rash's higher combo. And going into this next finger control section, this is anyone's game. Pon the first to break as well. Rash still hanging on with around 400 combo, which is huge on this map. And Rash does break right there. Does PonSnow have enough map to take this back though? With Rash breaking there once more, I don't think it'll be enough, and it's not. If there was maybe 50, 100 combo more to this map, the outcome could have been very different, but I think Pon's early break on the build-up section is ultimately what determined this match. And that does put Rash on match point. It is PonSnow's pick though, so he has quite a bit of wiggle room to determine what he wants to pick. And we see a free mod 1. Interesting pick. Probably one of the more conventional maps left in this, besides the Nomad 2. But in terms of tapping, Rash probably does slightly edge out PonSnow, so maybe he's hoping to go for something different. Unfortunately, there aren't too many standard maps left in the pool besides the HR1, but as we saw earlier, Rash is just really, really comfortable on Hard Rock. So picking any sort of Hard Rock into him is probably not a great idea. If I had to guess, both players are probably going to take Hard Rock on this map. It is really large CS, 2.7, and dare I say this is Hard Rock favored, simply because of the density on the map with Hidden. CS 2.0, and both players actually taking Hidden instead. Maybe this is just a host cannot play Hidden diff, but I genuinely believe this map is easier with Hard Rock. And PonSnow with an early break. The perfect stacks on top of each other, combined with the big circles, just make this such a tricky map to play on Hidden. And at 200 BPM, those notes just blink and disappear. And Rash with his first break in this map. Both players definitely really struggling with this map though. PonSnow having a noticeably worse time than Rash. I believe that both players weighed their pros and cons of the mods on this map, and PonSnow just may have miscalculated how big CS 2.7 was, or how fast 200 BPM can feel with Hidden, and we do see a slight misread there, but Rash did break earlier as well. I believe that there is a non-zero chance both players are sight reading, and we see both players once more breaking on the quick pattern. Yeah, this Ki definitely turning out to be a challenge. No one really holding combo through that at all. After seeing a bit more of this map being played on Hidden, I will stand by my earlier assessment. This map is easier on Hard Rock. No mod is not allowed on the free mod picks. You are allowed to either take Hidden, Hard Rock, Easy, or Flashlight, or some combination of those mods. I'll give you a bonus duck if you take Easy, Flashlight, Hidden on any map. And this map is looking to be over. This is looking similar to the No Mod 6, but this time Rash is looking slightly better on this map. Just being able to read the Hidden. And that is going to be the map. And the match to Rash. Rash definitely demonstrating that he has really versatile skill set. Can play Hidden, can play Hard Rock, can definitely play DC and No Mod. And that does mean that PonSnow is unfortunately knocked out of this tournament. However, he did finish third, so really impressive finish. And tomorrow, Rash is going to be facing Kajoden live in the arena at 5 p.m.